Alright, here we go. We have a best of 3 here between Rageman and Lord Tidow. This is open season quarterfinals. And in the lowest bracket, the 1300 max. Both these players have surpassed the 1200s by a little bit, or just above 1300, but still they were well within limits upon sign up. So we have Lord Tidow here. He's had a good run with his matches so far. Good session. So it seems a good contender. Same with Rageman, quite a few 2-0 sets, so they must be solid players overall. We have a classic Archer Civilizations matchup here between the Vikings and Vietnamese. So Vikings with the superior economy getting wheelbarrow and handcart instantly, which could be very handy throughout the game, whereas Rageman with the Vietnamese gets more hit points on his Archer's line units. So 20% more hit points, so he'll have tankier archers and skirmishers. Looks like Lord Tidow is on the move here, going to see if he can find the enemy area, maybe? Or is he still scouting around his base, looking for the last few resources, just to get a good grasp of the resources here, maybe? Rageman is here in the red. He's found his gold, found his core resources, and the hunt, and yeah, all the sheep. Good. Scouting, starting scouting for both here. Scouting in big circles, nice to see. That's the way it should be. But let's theorize here. Vikings, very likely to open men-at-arms here. There's not really any reason not to if you want to do an early build to obstruct the opposition's economy early on. Vikings, of course, they can do Drush fast cast as well, which would also be viable with this fairly easily wallable map. But the thing about Vikings men-at-arms is that they are granted more hit points. Well, that's unfortunate. Granted 10% more hit points from the village onwards, so you'll have men-at-arms with slightly more hit points than the enemy. Vietnamese could very well go for an men-at-arms style opening as well. Might be in Rageman's planning here. Is pushing in at least one ostrich here. That's going to boost the food economy and make for a smooth transition into the possible men-at-arms follow-up here. We'll see where it goes. He drops the mill, so it's not a pre-milled rush for Rageman here. I should have put it in the titles as well. Yeah, so pretty standard builds for both here, right? 4 on wood, rest on food for now. At some point they'll transition into gold as well to afford their infantry follow-up. That should happen. The barracks, if they're going for the men-at-arms play, the barracks should be dropped around 18 or 19 pop. There's the barracks for Lord Tidow, confirming the Vikings men-at-arms play here. Rageman just now bringing the second boar. Slightly late here, maybe, but he's been pushing Ostrich as well. Could be the explanation for a little bit of IDTC time here as well, in terms of food fluency here, or just being a little bit distracted by the Ostrich pushing. Pushing 2 actually, so it's boosting his food income nice and early here. It's nice to have a little bit extra food for Vietnamese anyway, because they're eco upgrades like lumber and mill and everything like that doesn't cost wood, right? So if you collect those extra ostriches, you're also saving some wood for farms later on, but you're boosting your food income since hunt is collecting quickly, and with that extra food income you should potentially be able to afford both double attacks and horse collar upon reaching the feudal age, which is not usually the case for men-at-arms builds. Haven't seen Rageman going to gold though, so I'm not sure what the idea is here. Maybe just straight archers expecting men-at-arms from the Vikings. Rageman hasn't quite scouted Lord Tidow yet. He knows the location, obviously. It's right here around, he sees the TC location, but he doesn't know the plan. But it's very common for the Vikings to go men-at-arms into archers. Alright, so militia in production here, fuel age on the way for both players, only 7 seconds apart here. They're both going for the 22 pop. Rageman is also on goal. He went to goal a little bit late here, but that doesn't seem to have obstructed him in the militia production here. Off they go, all three of them. We might have an infantry running in the middle here, but as the fuel age kicks in, it's definitely in favor of Lord Tidow here, because he'll have that extra hit points. So just to see when the fuel age reaches here how much the difference actually is. So Lord Tidow even scouts the movement here, so he's in full control over the situation here now. Rageman scout is out of position, but it's also denying walls down here. Yeah, lots of walling left to do for Lord Tidow here, but look at his hit points here now. It should... Yeah, exactly. He has 44 hit points. He has 10% more hit points on his militia as well. He's, for some reason, not queuing the men-at-arms here, although he can afford it. He might want to hold up on the decision until he's dealt with Rageman's forward here, but this seems to be a successful Lord Tidow for sure. Rageman isn't even fighting back here. He seems caught a little bit off guard here. Maybe he thought he was in a good spot with getting his men-at-arms out just in good time. Look at this, look at this. Lord Tidow with the bike warriors, almost not losing any hit points. They're barely losing from one of them. Collected hit points for these three militia now at 108 out of 132 possible. Just get that men-at-arms and move forward. There's really no... yeah, okay, the ranges are up, but there's no reason not to try and obstruct the economy still a little bit. Alright, so we're with defensive men-at-arms here by the looks of it. Going to hunt down that scout. And I keep saying men-at-arms because I'm expecting the Vikings to go men-at-arms here, but these guys are staying militia. Also called Angry Housewives on my channel. What's the what's the idea though? Is it because Lord Tidow has lost his scout that he feels like he needs to chase this 1 HP scout of Rageman across the map instead of using the militia or potentially to be men-at-arms forward? I'm not with Lord Tidow here. He's really looking for that scout. And Rageman is just chilling out in the corner. He has his 2 ranges back home. Lord Tidow will potentially... He could have gone into 1 range skirms here, but he wants to keep the offensive after cleaning up Rageman's forward here. They're both investing into the archers, giving Rageman the numbers lead, having more ranges. There we go, clean up the scout. Are we moving forward now? I mean, you could even use the militia in front of your archers to tank enemy archer fire to boost your chances to win fights here, so... I don't understand this hesitation to go forward. I mean, after cleaning up Rageman, I guess Lord Tidow is expecting archers on the enemy side, and that's why he doesn't bother sending his infantry forward. But we'll see. Rageman camping the hill here now. He does have a blacksmith, should be able to afford pledging quite soon here. Alright, they're moving with their rolling pins in their hand. Let's have a look at Lord Tidow's scouting here. He might just run into a huge chunk of archers here. Doesn't have all that much scouting intel over here. Did lose his initial scout after all. He shouldn't be finding any point of entry here. It's all walled. Or is it? Yes, it is. See, Lord Tidow is obviously expecting the Vietnamese to go for the archers play here. There's archers mixed with some skirms here for Rageman. Still with the numbers lead. He has 14 ranged units, whereas Lord Tidow has only 9. Keep in mind the Vietnamese archers have extra hit points as well. 20% more hit points. So this is a rough fight for Lord Tidow, however you look at it, unless he's the first one to get to fletching, but that's not the case either. The militia pounding away at walls here, that's not going to be much of a distraction for Rageman here. You can just use a couple of archers to clean this up nice and easy. The brave skirmishers here to take the fight. Unfortunately, 3 archers on the wrong side of the battle here. Mainly skirmishers now for Lord Tidow. I like the adaptation here. He was making archers first, then he scouted the 2 ranges, so he doubled up on the skirmishers instead, staying 1 range, limiting the eco usage here, and we see Lord Tidow already on the way to the castle age as a result of that. So he's not gonna take a great fight here still. I think he could chase, but he's probably waiting for Castle Age and the upgrade to Elite Skirm here now, just to completely focus down Rageman before he can even get up to the next stage here. And Lord Tidow should know the approximate whereabouts of the archers here. There's a hill quite close here, but will he go forward instead maybe? I really think he should chase here just to diminish the numbers of Rageman before he can make the transition to the Castle Age here. We're just a few seconds away now. I think we'll see Elite Skirm maybe in not too long of a time here. Crossbow is coming in. I guess that's alright as well. Rageman is looking to get some good trades here, but now he's also revealing the location of his armies, and Lord Tidow can cut him off here, even bringing in the militia here to join in the fight. We'll see if they are able to intercept each other here. Yeah, this should be a cleanup for Lord Tidow, no problem, against the Vietnamese armies. Not making full use of the hill here, but now it's slowly pulling back here, and yeah, that's going to be all of Rageman's armies, or not all of them, but all of Rageman's forward armies down here, just like that. Even with the skirmishers, they're not really a threat to Castle Age crossbows with Bodkin here. And Lord Tidow playing the eco game here now, dropping a second town center to protect the back gold here. As he takes out quite a lot of Vietnamese armies here, I think that's a good trade. And with the amount of skirmishers he has in the mix, might be viable to go Elite Skirm here as well for the green player. Rageman now moving out. There's the Castle Age. She's switching into double stable knights with the Vietnamese here. And that's... I mean, Knight Crossbow, I guess that could be very strong, but it's also extremely taxing on your economy. But to be fair, Rageman hasn't taken any hit at home. He didn't do any early damage himself either. But he is up against Vikings economy here. Multiple TCs already for Lord Tidow, who also has a villager lead. Rageman doesn't even have wheelbarrow, so he really needs to be the aggressor here. But a mix of knights and crossbow could be just the thing here, and staying 1 TC against the Vikings. The knights added in counters the skirmishers' investment here of Lord Tidow as well. So this time around it could be Rageman cleaning his stuff up here. Yes, +1/+1 for the knights. He's getting at least 4 of them out here. And the location of Lord Tidow's armies should be a surprise here. Not staying 1 TC though, is dropping another one here, but gets slightly obstructed by Lord Tidow's forward. Good reaction to pull the villagers away from the woodline. And here come the knights. Ooh, Viking knights as well. The knights to join in the fights here. Get to work! Roughly the same idle TC time behind this. Lord Tidow with a very solid KD still. These Feudal Age Skirms still doing work here. And so using the crossbows to some extent to focus on the knights as well. But Lord Tidow eventually is going to lose the forward here. But it does do another nice cleanup of the crossbows. But Rageman seems to be intent on continuing this offensive with knights here. So we'll see how he moves on from here. KD 26 for Rageman now. It's a bet even KD. I don't see that a lot. Interesting. Palisade Gate here should be easy to break through. Do we have a monastery for Lord Tidow here? Not really. Monk defense could come into play here for sure. Some house walls to keep the knights from entering here. Just a few crossbows. They are not really going to be a threat here. Not too often you see Vietnamese knights, but why not? I mean, they have bloodlines, they have the blacksmith upgrades, and they certainly made sense against, at least a few knights made sense against Lord Tidow's skirmisher investment earlier on here. Sorry about that. Corona time. Alright, knights. Move forward in, and there's the monastery, so Lord Tidow wants to hold these knights off from behind his walls. No villager really close here to commit to peak walling behind this gate. This could be some good raids for Rageman here, because he is going to make his way in here. Not too many crossbows here to contest the knights numbers, and +2 is right on the way as well. And these knights numbers are scary, 11 of them total. So a couple villagers down, 3 villagers killed by Rageman now. 4. Chasing, and look at the idle eco timer ticking away like crazy here. Lord Tidow not with the best eco balance I've ever seen here, with 900 something wood in the bank, and also floating through the gold, not making full potential of his resources here. He's dropping a couple of barracks, so it's clear he wants to go into both pike defense and monk defense here. And Rageman doesn't commit to any more knights for the time being. He's just sniping cars now to diminish that Vikings eco pressure here. But in the meantime, Lord Tidow has re-walled his frontier, and the knights will have no escape without breaking through maybe the palisades here or some other place around here. A monk could get a conversion here as well. Rageman doesn't seem to be paying attention. 2 monks, in fact. And Lord Tidow also with enough stone here for a castle that, once he cleans up these knights, probably should be going on the hill here to secure the hill and to secure some of the side golds here. So some Vietnamese knights still here, but I'd argue they haven't really gotten their value here. They killed 6 villagers, granted, but 13 knights is also a huge investment. We'll be having 2 more villager kills here, but then they'll be dealt with, and Lord Tidow should still be in a very decent spot here with the villager lead. Now also a military lead, and yeah, defensive cat player. It kind of reaches the gold as well, so you could extend to that gold a bit later on. Defensive castle is up. Lord Tidow now with 23 military. Rageman with 16. He's still committing to the knights here, surprisingly enough. And drops a forward market on the hill, but some presence on the hill is good anyway. That kind of limits the option of dropping a forward castle on these 2 golds here. So some presence on this hill, whatever building it might be, is useful for Rageman here. Pretty decent mass of Viking knights here as well. I think a couple of them are converted, so they may have bloodlines here. Yeah, I can't really find it. But ooh, Lord Tidow wants to go for the forward castle here, and that's a get out of my game castle if I've ever seen it. If this castle goes up, Rageman doesn't have any secondary and third gold here, and then when its gold runs out in the back there, he's in a serious pickle. Lord Tidow Chicken's Outlaw takes the hill here instead, which is also a good castle to take position on the hill between the players. This should still be a decent engagement, maybe a couple of conversions here, but there are more green knights than there are red ones, and there are pikes in the mix as well. How much will bloodlines and upgrades matter here though? It's only +1 defense for the Vikings knights here, and Rageman is cleaning up actually. So yeah, I think Lord Tidow was caught a bit off guard here in this fight. That was a horrible fight for Lord Tidow, losing so much, lacking the upgrades here. But he is on the way to the Imperial Age. He's going to double up on the infantry here and go full on pike trebs maybe, mix in some berserkers for raiding potential. I still don't hate Lord Tidow's spot here, but Rageman is also on the way to the Imperial Age. Rageman is actually going to be up first here. Alright, so pretty smooth transition to the Imperial Age. Rageman, however, doesn't have a castle. He's doubling up on the crossbows now, to say the least. He's going to drop 5 more ranges here to really boost that archer's protection, getting Thumbering, Ballistics, all the upgrades he would have had a while ago if he committed to the archer's play from the very get-go. But he's going back on track for the archer's investment here. He'll even have access to Imperial skirmishers if Lord Tidow also goes back into ranged units at some point. So now Rageman will be the one casting this hill, but Lord Tidow has the hill here to push with trebs. And he's going... Oh, these are the original militia, aren't they? Huh. So props to them for still being alive. Castle goes up. Could mix in some Rattan archers here as well, if Rageman so desires. He's floating a lot of resources here, go for both players actually. Lord Tidow could afford 3 more castles by the looks of it, so he might as well just castle over here as well, or here in this hill in the middle. He's going for his neutral golds or side golds, and yeah, doubling up on the pikes here. Expecting a continued knights into cavalier play here from Rageman. So this is a scouting failure by Lord Tidow here, I have to say. He's he knows about the castle obviously, but he doesn't know about the ranges over here, and that the arbalest switch is on the way for Rageman. So this is going to catch Lord Tidow off guard. He's going longswords for reasons I cannot fathom here, and mixing in some. I mean, it might be a. No, I don't understand the longswords addition here, actually. And queuing trebs. So he has 2 castles, but he's queuing all 3 trebs out of one of them, so that's also a tiny mistake here not to have the trebs from the other treb queued in the other castle, and he could suddenly have 3 trebs against Rageman with only 1 for the time being. I really don't understand the longsword 2-handed swordsman here. Even the knights, or rather cavaliers, wouldn't deal with those as well, so there's no reason to bring them to the field. This castle might go down on the hill here if Lord Tidow doesn't commit to any repairs here. He's also going into more ranges here now, so has seen the arbalest switch by now, so good reaction. Here comes villagers to repair, and by pushing from the hill here, Lord Tidow could still focus down these castles with the hill bonus for his own trebs here. But the two-handed swordsman, man, what's the idea? Is it against enemy pikes to push with Vikings Cavalier, or what is that? Well, 3 traps on the top. The castle will likely go down here. But Tidow doubles up on the repairs. Let's see if he can do it. He, at the very least, he has lots of lost stone in the bank to keep this up. Champions are not going to counter Arbalests, trust me. And Lord Tidow is also missing ballistics, so even if he has castles up, the castles won't be very accurate against moving units on the field. 1 castle down though, and somehow Lord Tidow keeps this castle up, and now he has 4 traps to push. The problem here is that his main unit of choice to come to protect the traps here are champions, and they are no match for the Arbalests, to say the least. The Arbalests shred those champions. Tidow, you need to bring elite skirms to the field. There's 1, there's 2, yeah, lots of skirms in the queue here now. Good. Making that transition and also forcing Rageman to go back into some kind of cavalry approach here. Good work focusing down the traps though. Champions just chilling out here. Are they just waiting to tear down buildings when the walls have been breached here? You just need to deal with the castle and the Arbalests first here. Both players still floating lots of resources here, and they're closing in on PopCap, but they're not quite there yet. 5 traps for Lord Tidow. And meanwhile, Rageman is thirsty for blood, and he sends all of his Arbalests forward here. Nothing's to stop Lord Tidow from putting up a siege workshop and taking it to Onager though, because he could very well do that with the resources at his disposition here. 5 trapped, man. Are the champions just a very expensive meat shield, and will have none of market abuse here? Rageman will be losing his markets here. You see that he'll be in a pickle now, because he can't really adjust his economy with the market here. If he forgets about his unit queues here, he's queuing ridiculous amounts of Arbalests here. And not that many actually. But he's floating out of food now, and that's not really being put to good use. So with the market down, Rageman will build a new one if he wants to sell food for gold. I'm puzzled here. Okay, so the Arbs are into raid, so Lord Tidow will need to react to this. He pulls up a defensive castle, but that might very well be denied by Rageman as well, who could be getting some extremely good trades for his forward Arbalests here. I think the castle goes up. I think it goes up. At the expense of villagers, but the villager numbers aren't that dissimilar here. Here come the elite skirms. Castle from the side, elite skirms behind. And with all the Arbalests, no, most of the Arbalests, not all of them. We have some Arbalests shredding trebs over here. Rageman with a whooping 78 military here, and floating quite a bit of food on wood here. Could opt for some light cav raids maybe. I don't know if Vietnamese get Hussar. I never really played that card with them. Elite Skir's chasing here, but look at Lord Tidow's idle eco timer now. It's ticking away like crazy because his eco is garrisoned inside TCs, and yeah, he's on the defensive here for sure. How many ranges does he have? 1? I only see 2 ranges here, which is quite the pickle if you need to defend against archers. Rageman with a sneaky blacksmith in the corner here. He probably lost his existing one and needs to rebuild it. And here come the stables, so we'll be seeing light cav raids now. Again, making good use of the wood here for Rageman. He's going to double up more so with the cavalry investment here, and he has a massive military lead now over Lord Tidow. He even focused on quite a few of the tribes here. He has Arbalests inside the Vikings players' base. Lord Tidow is incapacitated here. He's dropping lots of ranges, so he'll be pumping out more skirms. I mean, it's not like either of these players are struggling for resources yet. Paper money for the Vietnamese. So we'll be, what is that, 500 gold or something? That you get for free. Yep. And skirms to chase these Arbalests. These are unprotected until the light cab can arrive, and Lord Tidow, I think he... No, there's an opening. 69 military to 34 here for Rageman versus Lord Tidow. And even more ranges going up in the back there. They're being delayed or denied as well. Lord Tidow has push has stopped over here. He has 2 tribes inside the castle. Needs a lot more skirms now to contest Rageman's numbers. But there's another castle, very important castle here for Rageman to cover these 2 golds again. We're lacking some upgrades here. Not really. It's just the sheer amount of Arbalests here and the fact that Vietnamese Arbalests have more hit points, 20% more hit points. They can actually take decent fights against elite skirmishers here. Is ridiculous. Lord Tidow could go into Arbalest as well, though. He's floating a ridiculous lot of wood and gold here now. So once he can get his ranges up, he could try and contest Rageman by mass or something. The castle on the hill in grave danger of going down here now. And Lord Tidow, his best option to deal with the Trebs here are champions and pikemen. Still a champion, sorry, misclick or what? Champions here, if they can get close to the Trebs, they will of course shred them. The issue is that Rageman has his 43 total Arbalests here. He did lose the last few ones inside the base, but now there are light cab here to raid. So Rageman is not letting go of the pressure here. He has the stables, so now he can pump out the light cab to contest the skirms as well. Now, not too much left that Lord Tidow can do here now. He's going to be outmasked. He's going to find a castle, castle right behind Lord Tidow's trebs here. I love it. Just these trebs obviously can't contest this castle. They are on the hill, and the light cab will probably focus on these trebs easily enough as well. Wood and gold are Lord Tidow's main resources here. His farm eco, food eco is more or less non-existent here now. He's floating lots of wood, 50 something on wood here, and it's slowly but steadily being pushed back near Rageman. Chooses not to place the traps on the hill here to contest this castle, but he has the army superiority to do whatever he wants at this stage in the game. And you might see Vietnamese beating Vikings here. Two more tribes in queue. Again from the same castle, you have 3 castles and you choose to queue tribes in only one of them. There's the primary defense of Lord Tidow going down, now only left with the castle in the back of his base. GG is called, and we'll have a 1-0 for the red player here, Rageman. Let's see for the stats here. Higher military score for Rageman, not surprisingly, he had the larger numbers. He ends with a 3k score lead as well. We'll see for the military here. So need to check what these numbers mean. But you can see raising some losses of buildings here, conversions as well. Lord Tidow did convert 6 of the knights, so he did stop that early forward nicely from Rageman there. But look at these populations here. Army's going now whoop, and then they're extending them in the Imperial Age again here. The economy situation should show Rageman with more resources overall collected here. He's somehow collected more wood than Lord Tidow, who had more than 50 of wood in the end here. Technology should show a smoother cast age for Lord Tidow, but not being used to the full potential, running into Rageman's knights later on with his armies. Roughly similar Imperial times and similar resources as well. And then the castles, 3 castles for each player at the maximum there. Alright, so let's pull up game 2 and see Mr. Rageman's home map here. Game 2 is on Lord Tidow's home map, and he's picked plains for the occasion. Champion switch killed me, so stupid. I was really close, but could have easily lost there. Wait, it's interesting chat that they have among each other here. Really didn't understand that input switch from Lord Tidow. It really didn't make sense against an archer civilization like the Vietnamese, who had even been going crossbows earlier on. So it's not like Rageman had never teched into the crossbows techs. But let's follow up with planes here. Lord Tidow's home map. He has picked Magyars for the occasion, a pick I absolutely appreciate for planes here. You have the option of some of the best cab archers in the game. They're not cheaper like the Hunts, but they have a unique technology providing extra. What is it? Extra attack and armor or something? Extra armor, pierce and melee armor. I don't remember, but recurve bow. Yeah, I guess it applies to attacks since it's called recurve bow. But anyway, Magyars with the unique technology to give them stronger cab archers if they can ever get to fully upgraded ones. Full backlit tech 3 for the Magyars, only lacking the last infantry armor upgrade. What you could also do with Magyars, which Lord Tidow will probably be doing, is to open with scouts before following up with either knights or cavalry archers later on. And as you see, full tech 3 for everything except the last infantry here. Metal arms into archers, also an option, but then you won't have the stable ready to get into cavalry archers upgrades later on. So we'll see how Lord Tidow chooses to play this. He's Alright, what's going on here? Game's still running. Let me try to reconnect here. Yeah, I think I need to restart Capture H. Yeah, it's close on me. Picking up where we left off here. I think it's just fast forwarding a tiny bit to catch up here. Yeah, so the Magyars, you could easily go men at arms. You could go scouts. Both are viable, but the Magyar scouts are cheaper, so that's kind of given that Magyars should consider going for that here. On this very open map, I mean, the Rageman has got these small woodlands here, and then they need to expand further away for the chunkier woodlands later on. So it's going to be a fight for map control and resources. Gold spawns can be unthankful here. We have a bit backish gold for Rageman though, but full walls. He could wall this left hand side here, but in the right hand and back side, very, very open. Same for Lord Tidow here. It's only these small woodlands across the map here. But a back gold, that always comes in handy anyway, if you... Yeah, it's simply going to be less subject to enemy attacks. We have 3 on wood for Lord Tidow, absolutely suggesting the scouts play. But let's go to Rageman's civilization. He's with the Berbers here. Also 3 on wood, so he wants to play the scouts as well, most likely. Lord Tidow on the move here, and could have potentially found a couple of sheep there to lane. But is gathering some intel on the map now, found the enemy location, which is nice. And to know where to hit. He didn't scout the berries, but he knows the woodline is here, so he'll have some place to hit. So Rageman even milling the deer order. Second mill for Rageman. He really wants to boost that food income. And this time around it's Lord Tidow with slightly more items this time. Rageman with absolutely 0 right now. There we go, there the forager is back to work. 6 seconds, 8 seconds, very similar idle times here. And Fuel Age on the way for Lord Tidow. He's opting for the 21 pop here, whereas Rageman might be thinking about 22. Let's see, his TC isn't producing, so he's going to have some more precious idle time here. And this is why he milled the deer. He actually struggled to find his second boar, and that comes in very late here. So good save there by Rageman to salvage the uptime still with yeah, 20 seconds more idle time. He's going up at the same pop as Lord Tidow. Oh, Garrison! No, it's not gonna get scout. Oh, such animal crew. What? What? Lord Tidow, he hit that. He hit that sheep totally. Why didn't he die? He sacrificed his scout for nothing. Oh, you're so stupid sometimes, not registering attacks like that. What I think Lord Tidow did here was hit the scout and quickly run so he would dodge the easy fire. But if you click run away quickly enough, you still hear the attack sound, but it won't cause the unit to take damage. So that was an extremely unnecessarily sacrifice of the starting scout for Lord Tidow. But he's doing it for good faith, I guess, sacrificing to the High Lords of the Berbers Empire here and hoping that it's going to bring him good fortune in the battles. They will rushing up for Lord Tidow now. He's going to exploit that earlier feudal age as well as he can. Rageman with scout here, but he is seeing 4 villagers building, so he can't really contest that from going up. All the villagers on Woodland now, that's saving some wood for other investments, like a couple of farms maybe, as you might need here to sustain the food economy. Lord Tidow's TC is going to run idle here because he's going to struggle for food. See. So Lord Tidow now, he either needs to cancel a scout, or wait for more food, of course. He's actually struggling to queue more than a few scouts here. 1 scout. He lost his initial one, and here comes the second one. It's just too many things at a time here, causing quite a bit of idle TC for Lord Tidow here. But that could be said about Rageman as well. He's doesn't have the most efficient TC working time either, so they're following each other in terms of idle time here. Tidow will move. Remember, he gets forging instantly as Magyars here, and if he can block some builders here, he could be looking at some good kills here. Here come Rageman's Spearman to obstruct, though. Lord Tidow, 1-on-1 Spearman fights will easily win here because he has +1 attack for the spears. But he pulls the scout away, obviously. Doesn't want to have these pointy boys poke away at him for a second here. He wants to keep the hit points of the scouts, obviously, for continued aggression. Some walling initiative over here as well. It certainly limits the raiding potential to the left-hand side. Cleans up the enemy spears there, and Lord Tidow, he is he's down in military actually, so Rageman is on the counter-attack here with his own scouts, and Lord Tidow's spears are forward, so he can't really fend this off with spears. That's going to be the Rageman's first kill. First villager down in the game actually, so Rageman has had some next level defense here at home to keep the scouts of Lord Tidow to get any kills. That should be the second villager dead, so very good forward by Rageman there, but he doesn't get the, actually doesn't get the villager in the end. Causing some serious idle time though. Idle TC, idle eco. And in the meantime, Lord Tidow isn't having any success on the enemy side. Yeah, so good value from Rageman's forward scouts here. He's getting a 2-0. He has a KD of 10-8. He's managed to kill 2 villagers. And Lord Tidow has had a significantly higher idle TC time behind all of this. So he has some recovery work to do here. He's down 7 villagers here because of all that idle time. Doubling up on the barracks, so that should fend off the scouts, of course. And yeah, the overall eco doesn't look too bright for Lord Tidow here now. 6 on wood, 4 on food. Has some work to do to come back in this game. Full spearman rush from the Magars here, nice. So Lord Tidow using the resources he has to make army here to keep chasing. Another barracks up as well. This could be good for a potential pike siege push later, which is actually something that Berbers can be vulnerable to. And just now Rageman is going to gold. Lord Tidow hasn't gone there either, but he's really low on villagers. Can he come back from this at all? 23 villagers to 35. I mean, Rageman really he needs to keep his aggression forward here, keep the push going, and just make sure that Lord Tidow can't boom back into the game here or get back into the game here. Neither player is anywhere close to the castle age, but with the spearman rushes, Lord Tidow could be looking at a good counterattack and some villager kills here now. Spearman doing work here. Obviously, Rageman can't use scouts to fend this off. He needs spearmen and stuff of his own. Maybe some militia line units or something. But Lord Tidow is the one with the good counter aggression now. 9 spears total, full on spearman rush. I haven't seen this from any other city than Byzantine before. Still, Rageman is 10 villagers ahead, but he's lacking both eco upgrades. Whereas Lord Tidow, he has both. So maybe there's hope for Lord Tidow yet here, yes, but he will benefit from farms that last longer because of the horse collar. He's being extremely annoying with the spearman here, with that extra +1 attack from forging as well. Not getting a lot of kills here, but he did get 3 villagers, so the eco KD is close to similar. Ding, 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 ding. Never seen so many spearmen in one single game, I think. Rageman chases away though with some micro here. Lord Tidow could still win this one, I think, but he sits out on that one. Rageman still with the scouts investment here. I like that he moves forward again. Most of the spears are probably forward, so there should be some potential for counterattack here. This lumber camp is rendered idle. This one is... What is this woman doing? Oh boy, she's practicing corona distancing here and working far away from all the others. She's probably in isolation, but still wants to provide for her people. 4 scouts forward for Mr. Rageman here now. He's idling out quite a bit here in the middle of all the stuff here. Lord Tidow has scouts of his own though, and he's forcing Rageman into more spears. It's still going to be Rageman with the... oh, look at the villager count! Lord Tidow has caught up here. Rageman has less idle tease time, but Lord Tidow has been getting more kills in, so he's had some fantastic counter aggression here to even out the numbers and might yet turn this game around. $33, $38, so Lord Tidow is still struggling with some idle TC time here. Rageman going to the cast stage. He is Berbers, he has cheaper cavalry units. He'll be pumping out cheap knights, most likely here. Lord Tidow, I don't know what his plan is, but the food eco suggests that he'll be pumping out knights as well. So Magyars won't necessarily be able to contest the Berbers' cheap numbers, especially not cost efficiently, but Magyars get that +2 attack immediately. That's going to benefit the Magyars in the fights here. Also, there are still already some spears on the field, 7 spears total for Lord Tidow, so he could go straight into pikemen as well to hold off the Berbers, knights, and potentially camels here. We'll take a little look at the scouting here. Both players, decent grasp of the map. Rageman with a little bit more scouting intel than Lord Tidow has. One scout for the 8 not gonna get any success there. He gets focused on by the villagers. It's a little bit idle time on Lord Tidow's goal, but not enough here. Rageman doubling up on the walls here. He really wants to secure his base. I don't think he's gonna keep the Magyar's aggression out though. Here comes some scouts to idle some farms again, so it's going to obstruct Rageman's food income. It's only 5 on goal. That's hardly going to keep consistent stables production along. But he has one stable, he has some gold in the bank. It's going into camels. So camels, I think that's the wrong call here. Lord Tidow is still 1 minute something from the cast stage. And camels, they will be slaughtered by these +1 spearmen here, especially if Lord Tidow has the eco to go into pikes as well. 1 camel to take out the scouts, maybe that's the idea. No, it's still the camels. Still only 5 on gold. There's more on gold here, but it's not really working for Rageman here. We have some builders idling out every year. Look at Rageman's idle eco timer. It's off the charts here. He's dropping a second stable, but it's not really going to be able to use that consistently. Not just yet, anyway. I can't help but feel like Rageman is wasting time here. Maybe it's because the scouts have +2 attack and you can't easily fight them off with builders. That's why he's chasing them with camels here. But Rageman is wasting a lot of time here that should be better spent trying to obstruct Lord Tidow at home, who is just now dropping a second TC to further secure the gold and to catch up in builders here, because Rageman will be staying 1 TC and provide more army instead here for at least a little while longer. I don't think he's going to drop it 1 TC at 275 wood here. So he certainly has the army numbers, but again he has 2 stables now, and he's going to reach a point very soon where he's not going to be able to sustain both of them. See, both stables idling out now, and yeah, army production come to a halt for Rageman. He's getting horse color, and not a moment too soon. He has 21 farms, 3 horse color here now, so he's going to struggle for wood in not too long here, having to reseed all of these farms, but quite a few knights and camels forward here now, as Rageman is getting the +2 defense as well. Lord Tidow did go into pike, as I theorized here. He may be able to drop a monastery and get some conversions in as well. But his pikes are dangerous, and he's going to intercept the cavalry units here. Good call by Lord Tidow here to follow the knights. He has +2 attacks, so even if Rageman thinks he can focus these down with his cavalry units, he seems to have forgotten that these guys had +2 attack already. And Rageman also missing the +2, so that was a bad engagement, causing him... I don't think he lost any units, but he definitely lost hit points here. $22 military to 10 here now, so Lord Tidow actually in a decent spot to push here. He did go to the crossbows actually, that's peculiar. But it also kind of allows him to especially hit the gold here. Rageman has 2 golds that are reachable by archer fire here. No bot can arrow those. That's something Lotito will have to think about. Wait a bit, very forward PC here. What is this? I think Lotito is going to deny that one if he sees it, but he's just... Oh, he sees it! He sees it! He can't deny it. He could almost deny it. Yeah, it goes up. Crossbow pike for Lord Tidow. So he may not have. I mean, he could easily siege push this TC. He has the wood and gold eco set up for crossbows here now. So why not just add some siege as well and just limit the expansion of Rageman here? This game might go long if the players play it as passively as they're currently doing here. Nice engagement there, still without ballistics for the crossbows. He did get 3 or 4 kills there. Lord Tidow with the earlier to the 2 TCs is catching up on builders here now. But Rageman isn't producing it. No, sorry, he's producing as well. So they're both producing builders out of 2 town centers. But Tidow about to drop his third on stone here, suggesting a forward castle in the making soon enough. If it wasn't for Rageman's units here, but the crossbows breaking in, that's GG for Rageman. His army is out of position. His knights and counts are over here. He has no response to these crossbows and pikes. He can't make more knights either because there are pikes in the mix. So that's a good engagement for Lord Tidow. Most importantly, taking Rageman off gold here as well. So he can't just double up on the units. Might have been a too early a GG if you look at Lord Tidow's economy behind this, but certainly a good engagement on Lord Tidow floating a lot more builder units than Rageman is doing. So 1-1, well played Lord Tidow. Let's have a look at the stats. Can't believe Lord Tidow came back from this. He was down to 22 villagers when Rageman was above 30. So Rageman seemed in a good spot to close that up, but he didn't keep the aggression going. That's what allowed Lord Tidow to get back into the game. Rageman with the higher score, GG at top score actually, but he probably anticipated a lot more losses to the army investment of Lord Tidow there. Let's see the uptimes castle lives really later. I love these extended fuel age fights that these open maps provide. And eventually society should show no castles or anything specifically interesting here. Alright, we'll have a decider game in this best of 3. So let's dive into that one. $52 to 40 KD, Lord Tidow with the KD advantage in the end, actually. And you don't see that because I switched overlay, so let's just go to game 3. Maybe it's getting too late for me here. Shrublands! That's a map we haven't seen this far. That is Rageman's maps of choice. It should be quite similar to Plains, to be honest. But let's pull it up. They called a re in the previous one. I didn't open the re file because I don't think it's relevant to watch the game where they called a re. So this is the actual game. Lord Tidow versus Rageman again. As we know, this is the decider game in the best of 3. We have Shrublands, quite similar to Plains, but here, as opposed to Plains, there are some elevations. You'll see it on the minimap as well. There are huge chunky woodlands, but you have to move out a bit to actually find them. I mean, it's not too different from Arabia, this one. Aside from the gold spawns that are a lot more awkward. If you see here, this is Rageman's third gold. This is his second gold. But at least his main goal is quite close to home base, and he has a fairly decent chance to pull wall up his base with Franks here as well. So, and a nice chunky woodline in the back. So, I guess Rageman got a better woodline after his restart. Hello there, farm man. I'm doing alright, thanks. Just doing a short casting session now. In the quarterfinals of open season. We finally got there after lots and lots of games. So I'm looking forward to the conclusion. Full-on cavalry matchup here. We have Lord Tidow with the Lithuanians and Rageman with the Franks. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see scouts on the field yet again. They're both with 3 on wood. Typical indication that scouts might be in order. Lithuanians might be able to contest Franks on the uptime here, because Lithuanians start with 150 extra food. And on the other hand, Franks, they essentially get bloodlines for free. In a sense, they are granted plus 20 hit points for their stable units starting in the feudal age. So Franks scouts will have 54 HP, whereas the Lithuanians without any upgrades will have just the generic 45. So Lord Tidow will want to go up at maybe 19 pop here actually, and then just get to the scouts sooner than the Franks and try to get the numbers advantage, or double up on the spears and play it more defensively, because the Lithuanians trash units like the spears, skirmishers, these kinds of things, they move faster. So you'd more easily catch up with scouts if you're subject to a scouts rush. So I'm looking forward to playing the AOE leagues as well. Farmman, I'm not in my best 1v1 shape these days, so it's gonna be interesting, but still like the idea. And hopefully get to play some games on my beloved Acropolis as my home map. Which is also in the pool for this tournament, by the way. Yeah, so definitely the scouts here shouldn't be a surprise. We have berries, so Franks can exploit or take advantage of the foraging bonus. 15% faster foraging for the Franks, boosting the early food economy even a little bit more. Rageman, I think he'll want to wall either between the woodlands here or all the way to the edge as the game moves on, and then like this maybe, because then he'll have his back gold, he'll have his main gold secured, he'll have his stone secured. All depends on the uptime here. Lord Tidow is going up at 19 pop as theorized here. Rageman seems to be settling for 20, maybe even, it's 20 because it's queuing Loom. And as a result, with 30 seconds more idle TC time as well, that gives Lord Tidow a good time window here to outnumber Franks with scouts. He's essentially going to reach the feudal age at least 1 minute ahead of Rageman here. Two lumber camps on the same woodland though. I don't love that. You can see the reasoning. It's closer to the town center, so if you get raided, you have an easier way to pull back to the town center. But if you spread out across 2 woodlands, it's tougher for the opponent to raid you on both sides, as once he'd have to split up his armies. Nice deer location here. That goes for both players. They should be easily pushable. Something that Rageman hasn't made advantage of this game. We saw him pushing deer in the first game, so he certainly is able to do it. Oh, the timing, Lord Tidow, my man. You need your barracks finished before the feudal age. Now we're losing precious seconds against the Franks here. The wood situation isn't optimal either. Ooh, the stable is going to be so denied. You're losing all the house! Lord Tidow, what are you doing? Are you going to play full-on defensive here with spears? Is that the idea? You're wasting your 50 seconds lead here. Oh, pity. Only 2 on berries for the Lithuanians. That's alright, because Lithuanians started extra food. Here comes the stable. But in the meantime, Rageman has reached the feudal age. He's even walling up here. I'm worried about Lord Tidow's starting scouts investment here. He had 50 seconds head start or so to the feudal age here. He's going to try and delay the stables a little bit still. But it's just, you've lost your advantage here, Tidow. How could you do such a thing? The house was a panic house, obviously. It doesn't want to get pop capped here. The stables is up. And we'll be queuing probably 2 scouts or so here. The tab doesn't actually show here. But we'll see it when it pops out. I don't know why the counter didn't start there. Capture H issues, I guess. Rageman, though, does he know the enemy location? He does not. So he's been over here. He's seen a gold, so that should be giveaway actually, that 4-tile gold. But if you're not, this is Rageman's home map, so he should have an idea about the resource disposition as well. But apparently he doesn't think that Lord Tidow is here, and now finally he's going to find it here and find a very open base and exposed Lord Tidow on this side. So the scouts will still find a point of entry. We have the Lithuanians spearmen running in. Oh, there's an opening in the woodline, so this isn't going to be too easy to wall for Rageman here. He's with 3 or 2. Tidow should win that one. Lord Tidow sure likes his spearmen, but with Lithuanians it definitely is warranted because the trash moves faster, so that's an advantage. You could outrun the enemy spearmen if you don't want to take the fight. So 7 military to 8 here. Rageman, he has his units out as well. He's starting scout is here, so if Lord Tidow has a brief look over here, he could actually trap that one. Or no, not take the fight. Farmers fall here. I think 1 scout died too. Oh, scouts on the woodline. Nice. That's going to be the another kill. They have 2 kills each here, so I must have missed some Rageman scouts attack on the other side here. Or it's just spears. First villager, 1 villager down for Rageman. Rageman struggling a lot with idle TC now. He is maybe stressed out in the tournament situation here. He has his scouts, he's going to go for the counter-attack, noticing that most, if not all, of Lord Tidow's spears are forward. But look at all of these villagers joining in as well. So much idle eco time for Rageman here. Not sure who wins this, Lord Tidow. He could try and get some sneak hits in on the spearman here with the scouts, but he chooses to try and trade villagers instead. Here comes the counter-attack, but Lord Tidow, he has spears at home as well, and he's walled in his woodlands. That's going to be tough for Rageman to hit. So even after a bumpy start here for Lord Tidow, he seems to be taking some good engagements here. 5-6 is the KD status here. Extended feudal age again, just as I want to see it, and spear on spear fight again. Doi! Don't show this opening. Just let Rageman think that this is something that he could wall up and then run in there later instead. 2 vs 1 again, attacking the full HP spearman here. Focusing the weak one at least to rid of that one. So many spearmen for both players here. 4 spears for Rageman, 6 for Lord Tidow, KD 6-6 in this extended feudal age fight. But Lord Tidow, the real aggressor here. Rageman is careful with his forward armies here. He's trying for to find stray villagers to snipe, and I think he'll block and get this one. Bam! 1-1 Eco KD here. Spears, focus the weak ones maybe, get the weak one. Yeah, right, chasing Lithuanian spears, they're rather quick, they'll almost catch up, but just almost. These are horsemen after all, and this guy's running with a heavy spear, so no wonder he doesn't catch up with these guys on horseback. Back to Rageman's base here, 3 Lithuanian scouts still on the move. Lord Tidow would be wise to invest into more farms here now. He's floating lots of wood, and well, he has quite a few farms, so never mind actually. It's a 4 villagers lead over Rageman here, and should be going to gold, so he could even consider tasking a few of the lumberjacks to gold at this point, because he's floating quite a bit of wood here. But he commits to farms, and as long as Rageman doesn't snipe either of those, should be okay. Okay, Rageman playing fair play here, maybe, no. Wait! There he goes. So annoying when that happens. When you see the farm, it's basically at 0 HP before you start building it. So if the scouts or any unit gets one poke in, it's just you lose them. So 34-30 here, Rageman with the extended farm eco as well. Of course, he has Horse Collar. He's missing double with axe, which could be a pickle later on if he's needing more wood for farms and other buildings, because his lumberjacks aren't working as fast as Lord Tidow's are. So, not so walled woodland after all. Here come the weak scouts, just fight over with villagers, one villager down. Not a big deal for Lord Tidow. Here come the spears to snipe the last few scouts and put a stopper to the aggression there. Here comes the blacksmith, suggesting a castle age transition just around the corner. 4 on gold for Lord Tidow, so no, not overextending here. He should be clicking any moment down once that last bit of gold is in, and he really needs more villagers to support double stables production here. He has a relic in the back here, which he has probably scouted, and one forward as well, so we should have an easy time getting 2 relics at least here. They're quite close to his starting base. Look at this constant annoyance here. I love the aggression of both parties here, back and forth as it goes. More spearmen moving forward. It's not like you need them at home anymore with only 2 scouts as the army for Rageman here. Might as well pull them forward for some further annoyance. And yet again being annoying with the scouts here under Rageman's TC. Solid head start to the cast stage for the Lithuanians as well. And going to beat Rageman by roughly 1 minute here. Amazing value from Lord Tidow's scouts here. He has enough wood for another stable. Did he drop one maybe? There it is, going up. Tasking 3 villagers. Hopefully that's up before Passage kicks in here. Still needs more on gold though. You need 6 on gold to sustain constant nice production. So if you have 2 stables, you'll need at least 12 on gold. And that's not counting the upgrades you need as the game moves on. So you'll be better off with even a few more to sustain constant production. Spearman, perfect. They're hitting the gold of Rageman. That's going to limit the knight's production potential for the Franks here. Lots of wood in the bank, so Rageman, if he had a market, it could sell some wood for gold if needed. But the fact remains that he has only 1 stable to produce knights. Lord Tidow has 2, so Lord Tidow should be taking the numbers advantage here. He does not have lowlands, however, so that's something Lord Tidow needs to complete, and that's on the way. He's getting pikemen for his 6 spearmen as well, and with that upgrade, should be able to focus on these dudes here as well. Oh, nice timing. It's going to trade pretty decently there. Let's see the actual stats. Pikeman 4+1 attack against spearmen with... yeah, focusing down here. Rageman is walling off. Could the pikes stop the knights branching here? Stable goes up as well. Here come the first few knights and even a few more pikes mixing in as well. 3 relics. The relics disposition is really unfair here. Lithuanian's player has 2 relics literally like next to his home base and 1 down here. As Rageman tries for another little annoyance here, but there are pikemen here to deal with the forward, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. TC for Rageman, I don't know if I like that, unless he can keep his walls up and away from the aggression here. Lord Tidow's first. I mean, I think he shouldn't be hitting the house, I think he should be hitting the stables here, so if the knight accidentally pops out on this side, he might get a snipe with a pikeman here. And as the knights move forward, look at this, 1, 2, 3... it's mainly pikes actually. So Lord Tidow now with 10 on gold should be able to double up on the knight's production as well. Both stables producing now. No sign of a monastery yet though. That's basically free attack for the knights if you snag some of these relics. And Lord Tidow has absolute full control over the map now. Yet somehow Rageman is able to match the numbers here. So Lord Tidow, please keep some spears at home as well to contest the Frank's Knights if they come your way, or get that monastery up to collect relics and boost the attack for your knights. I'd honestly even consider a forward tower here. This is the only gold within Rageman's walls. Let's see if Lord Tidow has that covered. He sees this gold, he sees this gold. So he's been doing the right thing and denying the gold here with the spears earlier on, but he needs to keep the pressure up, and the tower or preferably even a castle over here could be the game-changing factor here. He's poking away like crazy at this table, and Rageman has to go with 5 builders to keep it up. He's coming with his own units here, pikes and knights, but he's actually has defense for the pikes as well, so he could be getting some decent upgrades here. Don't think get you the knights, use your pikes! Yeah, still Lord Tidow should win this one, I think, as Rageman is trying to buy time to repair the stables and double up on the numbers here. But he has only 7 on gold, so that's hardly enough to keep 2 stables producing. Lord Tidow also with only 5 on gold now, but that's because he's been dropping another TC over here and extending the economy, as he's in a good position to do. Equal builder numbers here now, but Lord Tidow definitely with the army numbers. And if he gets this table down, it's potentially GG for Rageman, because Rageman will lose his gold access, and he won't be able to produce any knights. He's desperately mining stone here now in an effort to get a defensive castle up. He might very well succeed and probably place it here if that's the case. But pure strength of buildings. I hate this with AoE 2, that you could task 5 builders to keep a stable up with 14 units attacking like that. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Counter-attack with some knights here. That's a nice counter-ride with the knights here. One builder definitely going down there, and Lord Tidow gets the garrison command going. His resources are quite exposed here. Woodline, everything. Pikes come to chase here. And please, oh please don't pull all your armies back. Hit the palisade gate here and run in. He obviously had to bail here with the castle, defensive castle going up for Rageman. I can't believe Rageman was able to hold that stable up, and that Lord Tidow didn't find another place to enter. He could have split up the armies, maybe hit the palisade somewhere else, or, as said, drop a tower or some kind of ranged thingy here to keep repairs from going behind here. Still, Lord Tidow definitely has the map control. He's getting a conversion here. Will lose the monk, but did get a free knight, and will clean up this little counter raid from Rageman here, who is stuck with 4 units against 24. So it's time to collect relics. That's going to give Lord Tidow some plus attack for his units. And what's he up to now? Rageman has taken a tiny builder lead here, but he's lacking crucial eco upgrades, so essentially he's 2 builders behind, lacking wheelbarrow here. Another defensive castle! Alright, so what Lord Tidow needs to do here now, he can't really contest this castle from going up. He should be focusing on keeping his map control like he has it here, and just aim for a quicker Imperial Age, and then start drop a forward castle and get those trebs down. Alternatively, he could raise the gate here and run in and raid Rageman into oblivion, because that would be a serious amount of idle time as well. Well, as it stands, I think Lord Tidow may as well just keep scouting for more relics. Take all 5 relics now while he has the map control, and he'll have some amazing paladins to easily contest the rank spawns for the late game. Rageman, are you gonna run into the pikes here? We are just passing, apparently. One relic is in, that should give Lord Tidow plus 3 attack for the knights now, because he already has plus 2 research from the stable as well. So whatever Franks do here, Lord Tidow is going to outmatch them, and they have the same defense upgrade, but Lord Tidow has plus 2 more attack. So if he pulls his knights into pike, which seems to be the case here, it should be an easy win for the Lithuanians numbers. That's one dead villager if Rageman recognizes it. Very, very few villagers lost so far this game. 4-3 is the villager KD. Running into each other, and just as I said that, the two more villagers go down. Rageman, is he going to guard this relic, or is he going to... yeah, take some hits in here. Throwing Axeman being added, that's a response to the pikeman from Rageman. He's making use of his 2 castles at home now as well. And he might actually get the Imperial Age before Lord Tidow here. It's just mind-boggling here. But he's lacking crucial eco upgrades, some that Lord Tidow has had for a long while. So that's a huge advantage for Lord Tidow for the late game. But why isn't Lord Tidow chasing these knights? He has +4. Soon to have +5 attack for his knights now. He has the superior numbers. That's going to be a kill out. Come on, take the fight. Please, Lord Tidow. There we go, chasing. Almost looks like Lord Tidow might be missing husbandry here, but pikes come from this side as well. They try to catch the knights up on the hill here. And Rageman, you're going to lose all of your knights' numbers here now. Chase, man! Seriously? Alright, we're waiting for the relic number 4. Full relic bonus for the Lithuanians. Look at these knights! Look at these beastly boys with 10 + 6 attack here. That's going to be 14 + 8 paladin in the very late game, should that be happening. Could also just raise the Palisade Gate here and take out both TCs easy peasy here. With +2 defense, yeah, Castle Fire, not something you want to subject yourself to, of course. But Rageman is slowly recovering here. Lord Tidow is being way too passive with his armies here. He has the massive army advantage here. He's going to contest Rageman's Imperial Age uptime here with 9 or 10 more villagers in his total population here as well. Yep, here it goes. Forward castle to actually cover both these golds as well. So that's a beautiful forward castle for Lord Tidow with the army to back it, something that Rageman simply can't contest. Rageman could potentially win the Treb Wars though, but he's going to need a lot more army, pikemen, cavalier, whatnot here to contest this mass. He's probably going to need to go into Halberdier straight away in the Imperial Age here. He could as well do that. He has the gold. It's 600 gold, 300 food for Halberdier upgrade. I think Rageman should just go for that rather than stables here. Even though he has access to chivalry, giving his stables quicker, 40% quicker production time. Alright, both players in the Imperial Age. No sign of any trebuchets here. Let's see for Lord Tidow's scouting here if he has... He actually only knows about the starting castle. So again, some lacking in the scouting intel here. Not seeing the expansion, not recognizing Rageman has been able to stabilize quite nicely here. But the army count, so 55 to 30. 4 relics for the Lithuanians. Might as well snag the last one while you can as well. For some extra gold. Some defensive capital here on the gold mine and wood as well. Cavalier all the way in, and you probably don't even need siege here, to be honest, if you're Lord Tidow. Rageman hasn't gone into Halberdier, he's only throwing axemen and knights here, so there's not much he could do against his army composition, even if it's getting to Cavalier 2 seconds ahead of Lord Tidow here. There's such passivity here, come on! Start the game already! Look at this cheeky boy even taking the forward gold. Here come the throwing action. Both players have Cavalier. How does Rageman react to this with all of these units on the field? Pikes will meddle in as well. Lord Tidow could even go into Halberdier here. He certainly has the gold for it. Gold with 4 relics. That's going to grant you an extra gold boost as well. And since we couldn't take this one, let's rather just take the side gold here close to the castle instead. Another castle for Rageman. Come on, dudes. At least get some trebs out to contest the treb wars here. Cavalier on Cavalier, this is a fight that Lord Tidow should take any day. He has much more attack. He has 12 plus 6 attack as the Frank's Cavalier had 12 plus 1. They're even lacking the Castle Age attack upgrade here. Rageman taps out and calls the GG. He realizes he has outnumbered. GG, well played. Thanks for participating to Rageman. And good luck to Lord Tidow in the next round. Well played. Let's have a look at the stats. So Lord Tidow with a higher units ratio here. Army high 68 to 44. And no, one building raised during the game, that's all. Economy shows a lead for the Lithuanians here, so Lord Tidow with a better macro overall here. Technology should show the fuel time. Beautiful, 90 pop scouts there with not just a few seconds idle time. Castle time 23 to 44, 1 minute difference, and then 1 minute difference to the Imperial as well. Society shows castles here 3 for Rageman, almost 4, but in the end not enough to hold off the forward Rageman. Both players playing it quite passively, honestly, but Rageman being forced up in his own little corner here, so in the end just falling too far behind. Alright, so that's it for my little casting session here. It lasted a bit longer than I thought in this set, so that's going to be the last game for me today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back maybe tomorrow evening, but soon enough, so hope to see you around for the next one as well. GG.